Hello, you beautiful people. My name is Papa Biko. Thank you for watching this video. Today we're going to go over a StormClaw Druid build. I've seen some people with videos of it, but they kind of just show it doing mediocre stuff around maybe tier 60, tier 65 dungeons, which gave me the impression that that's where it was limited to. Turns out, a lot more powerful than I thought. I have been able to clear up to tier 90. I have not tried to clear anything higher than that, but I am confident that this build is capable. We'll go over the gear you need, your Paragon placements, your glyphs, and what type of keys that you want to run. So let's see what we can get here. StormClaw Druid focuses on the claw skill, which is going to be our bread and butter. We're going to be running, that's going to be almost all of our damage. We're going to have Grizzly Rage up as often as possible, and we're going to be spamming claw. So here's what we're looking at. There's two items that you have to have for this build to work. Number one, Tempest Roar. It is absolutely imperative that you have Tempest Roar. I have a very mediocre one that I've put life gem into. The theme of this build is going to be life, defense, damage reduction, armor, and that's about it. We're really not looking to put out a bunch of damage because that's going to come passively. The other item that you absolutely have to have is the Great Staff of the Crone. Once again, I got this one yesterday. It's a little bit better than the ones I was running. It's still pretty mediocre. And in this, we're putting in the topazes for basic skill damage because that's our main damage. For your armor, for your chest piece here, they're looking for damage reduction, armor, damage reduction, max life perhaps. I have 4 ranks of Bloodhowl on here. It is the best piece I've come up with so far. I don't want it on there, but that's what's there. We're using the aspect basic skills grant 20% damage reduction for 6 seconds. And as you see, I have 2 rubies socketed for maximum life. On our gloves here, we want critical strike chance, willpower, lucky hit chance, and attack speed. I actually checked all 4 boxes on this one. This is the closest piece I have to being an end game piece. The aspect we're using on it is the duration of Grizzly Rage is increased by 5 seconds. In addition, critical strikes while Grizzly Rage is active increase your critical strike damage by 10%. On our pants here, once again, we're going defense. We want total armor. We want damage reduction. Damage reduction. It's going to be a very common theme here. The aspect we're using is gain 15% damage reduction while shapeshifted into a werewolf. And once again, we're socketing life. For our boots, we want armor, movement speed, damage reduction. And I know mine shows strength. I want willpower in that slot. I don't have it. I haven't come up with any yet. So this is the best piece I have until I come across it. The aspect we're using is while Hurricane is active, gain 2 ranks to your shape-shifting. Jewelry. My jewelry is not good. It is not ideal at all, but this is what I've come up with. For our amulet here, we have total armor, cooldown reduction, and we want other things like armor and defense and damage reduction. You can also get a +3 and venom roll as a passive. That is perfectly fine on this. The aspect we're going to use is basic skills gain X amount of attack speed. I don't even have a great aspect for that. I'm using the Barber Wrathful Heart in this piece, critical strikes, and all subsequent damage within 3.7 seconds is absorbed by your target. Then the absorbed damage erupts onto surrounding enemies. Stored damage is increased by 15% per second. This is huge. We need this because we're going to be fighting in giant piles of mobs. We're not good one-on-one. We're not good with single target damage, but we are great in giant piles. For rings, we're looking to get critical strike chance, maximum life, vulnerable damage, and lucky hit chance. So I have 3 out of 4 on this piece. I only have 2 out of 4 on the next one. We're going to use the aspect Grizzly Rage. Now shapeshifts you into a dire wolf. As a dire werewolf, you gain 25% movement speed instead of damage reduction, and a 50% spirit cost reduction. In addition, kills heal you for 10% of your maximum life. We don't care about that spirit cost reduction. We're not using spirit at all. This is a resourceless build. We do have shred on here for mobility, but we barely use it. We're using the caged heart here that is 16.5% of incoming damage is instead suppressed. When you use a defensive, subterfuge, or macabre skill, all suppressed damage is amplified by 250% and explodes, dealing up to 22,823 fire damage to nearby enemies. Also, fantastic because we're in giant piles. The other ring, once again, we want critical strike chance, maximum life, lucky hit chance, vulnerable damage. I haven't been lucky enough yet. I'm using the aspect lucky hit, up to a 19% chance when dealing lightning damage to overload the target for 3 seconds, causing any direct damage you deal to them to pulse for 1,509 additional damage to surrounding enemies. And I'm using the Devious Heart Inexorable Force, I believe is what it's called. Up to 50 distant enemies are pulled towards you while you have an ultimate skill active, and we're trying to have that ultimate skill active at all times. This is another really, really good piece to have, because we're trying to pull as many people together in a pile as possible. The more people on you, the better. Our spirit boons, we're running wariness for 10% damage reduction from elites, swooping attacks for 10% attack speed, calamity, extend the duration of that ultimate skill by 25%, trying to keep that up as much as we can. Masochist, lucky hit critical strikes with shape-shifting skills have up to a 75% chance to heal you for 3% maximum life. Calm Before the Storm, lucky hit nature magic skills have up to a 10% chance to reduce the cooldown of your ultimate skill by 2 seconds. Trying to keep that ultimate up at all times once again. For our abilities, for our skill tree here, we are going to put 5 points into Storm Strike. Why are we doing Storm Strike if it's not on our skill bar here? Because of that great staff of the Crone, where the legendary aspect says Claw is now a storm skill and also casts Storm Strike at 138% normal damage. So that Storm Strike is going to be cast constantly every time you cast Claw, and that's going to be just thrown out there as much as possible. So we want to beef that up for some extra damage. We're going to run Enhanced Storm Strike and Fierce Storm Strike. We're going to max out Claw, Enhanced Claw, and Wild Claw. We're going to move down to the core skills here, and we're going to put 1 point into Shred. We're going to put 1 point into Enhanced Shred and 1 point into Primal Shred. Shred is basically just going to be used for us to get from one pile to another, to jump from one end of a pile to another end of a pile. I hardly ever use it. That's just me. A good gamer would probably use it a lot more. I'm a very mediocre gamer. I may even replace this at some point because I don't use it that often. We're going to use 3 points of predatory instinct and 3 points of digitigrade gate. Now down here to the defensive skills, we're putting 1 point into Cyclone Armor, Enhanced Cyclone Armor, and Preserving Cyclone Armor. We're also going to put 1 point into Bloodhowl. Mine shows 4 because of that chest piece. You only need 1 point here. We're going to do Enhanced Bloodhowl and Preserving Bloodhowl. We're going to put 1 point into Ancestral Fortitude and 3 points into Vigilance. When it comes to companion skills, we're not going to do anything. We're going to be companionless in this build. Down here in our Wrath skills, We're going to put 1 point into Hurricane, 1 point into Enhanced Hurricane, and 1 point into Savage Hurricane. We're going to put 1 point into Elemental Exposure, 3 points into Endless Tempest, and 3 points into Bad Omen. We'll put 1 point into Neurotoxin, 3 points into Envenom, which again, we can get 3 more points on our Amulet, which would be a good bonus, and 1 point into Toxic Claws. Down here on our ultimate skill, we're going to put 3 points into Defiance, and we're going to max out Grizzly Rage. So we're going to do Grizzly Rage, Prime Grizzly Rage, and Supreme Grizzly Rage. We're going to put 3 points into Defensive Posture. And finally, for our key passives, we are using Lupine Ferocity. Our Paragon looks a little something like this. Now, I'm not sure if this is the most efficient way to run this. I've seen some things online. I've taken influence from things online. Matter of fact, the build that I'm using is highly influenced from straight off of Max Roll. I just am trying to showcase this build to show you that it is capable of doing the end game content. So in the first board, we're going to make sure we take Tenacity, Prime, Resolve, and Impel. I'm using the Glyph Socket Werewolf here. On our next board, forgive me, I don't know the names of the boards. I'm sure there's a way to see it. I'm not sure what it is, so apologies. But this is what the board looks like. We're trying to make sure we get Tempest, Thunderstruck, Restorative, Deluge, Hubris, and Stormcaller. And our glyph we're going to be using is Fang and Claw. The next board looks like this. And we're going to make sure that we hit Sinking Fangs, Natureborn, Poison Conditioned, Poison Resilience, and Heightened Malice. Our glyph on this board is the Territorial Glyph. Over to the fourth board. Looks like this. And we're going to make sure that we hit Tenacity, Determination, Shapeshifter, Nimble, and Slayer. And the glyph we're using here is Undaunted. And onto the final board, we're trying to get down here to get our glyph socket unlocked. Try to hit Courage and try to hit Nature's Will. I'm not sure if I'll even make it there, to be honest. But as you can see, I still don't have some of the requirements met for Dexterity and Willpower because I don't have the right gear yet. But this is what we're looking at. Here's the keys we're looking at. I cherry pick keys extremely tight. There's a lot of things I don't like to fight against. There's a lot of dungeon styles I don't like. Here's some example of keys that I'm not fond of. I don't like any keys that have Drifting Shade. I don't like it because I don't want to be pestered by it following me and blowing up on me. I don't like keys that have Armor Breaker or Resistance Breaker or whatever the other breaker is. I can't remember. I don't like Stormbane's Wrath. Once again, I don't want that thing chasing me and trying to blow up and all that. I also don't like monster overpower resist, not vulnerable. Resistance breakers, no thank you. It just makes it too tough. Drifting Shade, no thank you. Stormbane's Wrath, no thank you. Barrier breakers, that's the other one. Can't do that. We need to have our defense. And here's some example of keys that I will run. I'll run stuff that has Blood Blister on it and dodge breakers. I'll run things that have Unstoppable Monsters and Avenger. That's actually a pretty good key. That's a really nice key to run. Potion breakers is kind of iffy. Death Pulse can be iffy depending on the dungeon. If you're getting stunned a lot, Death Pulse can really end your game. Slowing Projectiles is a perfect one. Empowered Elite Suppressor, great. This is a fantastic key to run. Monster Crowd Control Resist is another good one. Volcanic is kind of iffy too, because if you get stunned, Volcanic will pop up underneath of you and probably do a significant amount of damage. Potion breakers, empowered elites with suppressor. Once again, perfectly fine. Unstoppable monsters, good. So these are the type of keys that I enjoy running. Now this build, up until yesterday, I thought was only capable of doing maybe tier 65, tier 70. Maybe if someone was a really good tier 75. Well, after really pushing it and being a bit aggressive, I've realized that you can actually do some pretty high tiers. I've run up to 90. I think I could do higher than 90. I'm not going to do it on this video because I'm trying to showcase it, and I don't want to look like an idiot since I'm not a great gamer. But we'll pull out a key here that's fairly good. Let's pick a key here. Let's do this one. I like Domhain Tunnels. Domhain Tunnels. Let's do this one. Yes, I failed Commodore Temple miserably because I kept on hitting the wrong buttons. I kept on hitting caps lock and just fumbling everything. So we're going for redemption here. We are in Domhain Tunnels, tier 86. And while you're in dungeons, you always want to be in werewolf form. If you're in human form, you're going to get clapped. You're going to get destroyed. You're going to get one shot. As you can see, you get two different types of damage reduction because we have the basic skill damage reduction and we have the damage reduction for being shapeshifted. So you want to definitely stay that way. I've been one shot by banshees, by just a lot of things. What we're looking for here is we're looking for big piles. We want big piles to jump into. The bigger the pile, usually the better. As long as you get into it in a good amount of time and you don't leave yourself vulnerable, you should be able to just blow up giant piles. Our single target damage is not great, so the more targets around, the better. Now I will wait to have my Grizzly Rage up before I jump into other piles at times, big fights, because you want to have as many buffs and as much defense up as possible. You want to be able to pull in everything around you so that you don't have stragglers that are tearing you up. So I will be a slower dungeon runner at times. I don't really care for speed running. If you want speed running, that's not what we're going to find here. I'm a real casual guy when it comes to it. Ah! Oh, that was stupid. That's all right. We're good. Nice big explosion there. Hopefully I'm demonstrating this well enough so that you guys see the capabilities of this build. Oh, we're gonna die from the blood blister again. Almost. Also, just a, fair warning here. I am Papa Biko, which means I have little Bikos, and the little Bikos will be heard from time to time. So hopefully you find that endearing and not annoying. Let's wait for our Grizzly Rage to pop back up. Getting a little bit of server lag. I'm just having a hard time putting my fingers on the right buttons. One thing I really don't like about the blood blister is that it stops your momentum. You gotta stop and make sure you take care of it so you don't get blown up from behind. And then you're wasting your time on your Grizzly Rage and your other buffs. Oh no. Just a little touch of server lag. Now, because our single target damage is pretty poor, if we get a butcher, we're probably going to be dead. I mean, there's almost no probably about it. It's a pretty much done deal guarantee. But it'd be funny. We like funny. Shoot. Wait a second on our Grizzly Rage again. Maybe we can pull a couple mobs so that we can try to lower that a little bit. Get a little cooldown reduction on it. I really hope this is showing the capabilities of this build for you guys. I really enjoy it. I'm hitting wrong buttons again. Yep. Sorry for my inability to play properly. No reason I should have died there. None. Nice little group there. Great Staff of the Crow. Worse than the one I got. That's alright though. I still appreciate the drop. Here's our objective here. Ooh, 97. Oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. That poison. I'm cheating. Got a little lucky there. Oh, some more server lag there. Pick up the stuff that we got on the way through. Gotta get that gold. Gotta have gold. Green for the money, gold for the honeys. Pimp Dawn Magic Wand said. You guys don't know who that is. Let's go. Let's go tear up Khazra here. We're gonna show the single target damage here, and it's not absolutely horrible. It's just not great. And there we go. There's a tier 86 with this build. Hopefully, that shows the capabilities of it. Let's assign our point. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys watching the video. if there's any questions, please feel free to ask them. I'm always happy to answer. If you have any comments, please leave them. If you have any suggestions, maybe you know something I don't know, any advice, tell me what you want to tell me. If there's any dungeons that you think are easier for me to do, or that you want to see me do, or if there's different affixes of the nightmare keys that you want to see, let me know. If you think I suck, let me know. That's okay. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. I appreciate you guys watching this video. It means a lot to me. My name is Papa Biko, and I will catch you in the next one.